Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Water Polo Wednesday with Wes and Clay. You're Wes.
You're Clay.
And make sure if you're on the channels, do the following and the liking and the commenting if you have something to say. Today's topics continue to be focused on National League finals coming up in a few weeks here and women's water polo, collegiate water polo. This week, let's start with National League finals and the details there. Wes, we've got two play-in matchups to review remaining, the Anteaters match and then the Trojan versus Sunset match. Let's start with where the games are being played.
Yeah.
And then let's get into the Sunset versus Trojan matchup.
So really exciting. We've never had a play-in, right? Like a true playoff format in National League. It's always been a regular season and that's it. So you play
like the final four teams. There's a semifinal and a final, pretty much.
I don't know that we've ever really even had a playoff weekend.
I think it's changed over the years. Sometimes there hasn't been a playoff weekend. Sometimes they've said like this is National League and then
Senior
Fisher
Nationals,
Cup or Senior Nationals is like the actual championship game. Sometimes they have had a finals weekend. Sometimes it's a quarterfinal. Sometimes not, but never a play-in. That's the
never a play-in, and it's really exciting to have one because there's pressure right away. And as we saw, like in the Filipovic interview, you got to be ready to go from the jump, as he talked about. So La Cañada will host the left side of the bracket. So let's go ahead.
High School.
La Cañada High School.
Yeah.
We'll be hosting the left side of the bracket. I'll go ahead and bring that up now so we can see the visual here, and we'll talk about this. I think it's easier to talk about these games when you're seeing the visual. Give me a second here. We'll bring that up. Really exciting. I mean, look, I can't over-index on my excitement for this. I think it's a really cool opportunity for us as a community to have play-in games and a true playoff here. And so that's obviously great. Let me pause this. For some reason it goes to like film, and I don't know why. Okay, so the left side of the bracket on your screen there, which is the Mission Nyack side, will all be at the play-in, I should say. The Mission Nyack side between Anteater Channel Cats, Sunset Trojan will be at La Cañada High School, okay, on Friday, April 25th. Game times, I believe, are about 6 and 7:30. They might shift a little bit. This is amazing to have this opportunity. On the right side of the bracket, the O Club LA side, that the play-in games Friday between Riptide and Long Beach, and then Pipeline and Channel Islands will be at Ocean View High School. That's confirmed as well. So you have Ocean View High School, Riptide and Long Beach, and USA Pipeline and Channel Islands on Friday, April 25th. And Anteater versus Channel Cats, Sunset versus Trojan at La Cañada High School, Friday, April 25th. All right. Winners will advance. Losers will have more or less they'll work their way to their own semifinal final for play out, basically, for final placing. And so we're going to break down. Last week we did break down the Riptide Long Beach matchup, as well as the USA Pipeline and Channel Islands. And so this week we'll be breaking down the other side of the bracket here.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's even better that some of these teams will have somewhat of a home court advantage and have some local community around them. Hopefully a lot of people will spread the word, and to all their communities and get the age groups in high school and whatever programs out there to come and support. It's going to be electric out there on Pole Deck that Friday as these teams play for their lives, this finals tournament, and the chance to advance to Saturday's winners bracket. Now let's dive into those matchups, Wes. Trojan versus Sunset. Talk us through it.
Yeah, give me 1 second here. So exciting to be breaking this game down, right? This Trojan team has the ability, in my opinion, to make a very deep run. And I'm talking like could win it. Could be in the finals. I agree. Couple of keynotes here. They have given everyone a tough game. They knocked off LA Athletic Club in a shootout after being down 4 entering the fourth quarter. They did lose to Nyack by 3, but we're missing Robert Duarte and another player who we'll be talking about.
He's good for 3.
He's probably good for 6 between defense to offense.
At least 3.
At least 3. They'll be wrapping up their 20 hours on Thursday, April 24th. So these guys will be in elite shape. They're going to need it because they do have a play-in game So they're going to have 4 games over the course of the weekend if they want to win the whole thing.
Right.
And none of their games beyond Friday are going to be a walk, right? So the Sunset matchup for Trojan is likely the most favorable they could have asked for. Sunset has had a pretty tough year, but you'd expect that because they're the top seed. They're the number 5 seed, so the first seed that doesn't get a bye. So they should have the most favorable first game. Trojan will have Robert Duarte. They'll have Brankovic. They'll have Jack Martin. They'll have Bernardo in the goal. The rumor is Mihailo Vukovic will also be joining them for National League Finals, which gives them a Coutinho Award finalist to anchor that defense. And we've seen him firsthand be another elite outside attacker for this Trojan squad. That's huge.
Yeah.
The hope here is that Sunset comes in with just an enthusiasm unknown to mankind and gives Trojan all they can handle. Hope for a good game. Sunset, who's been without a majority of their players for a lot of the season, Landon Ackerstrom, namely, who's been playing for the Pipeline team. He'll still be on the Pipeline team, but they will have a complete roster just without Ackerstrom. They should present a good matchup for this Trojan squad. It's not going to be I don't think it'll be a walk. Maybe it is, but I don't think it will be. It's going to be a nice Friday night under the lights type of thing. Good environment, good atmosphere out there at La Cañada. Really excited about, that location hosting. I know Armand, who kind of runs things there, is pumped about it. The winner of this particular game between Trojan and Sunset will take on New York Athletic Club in their quarterfinal matchup Saturday morning. I do like Trojan in this game. I know they're very talented. I think Jack Martin is a little too much for Sunset to handle in the middle right now. He's been a phenomenal center this season.
Yep.
He's going to open things up pretty substantially for the outside shooting of Brankovic, Duarte, Patino, Vort, Grigorovic, and Vukovic. I mean, to name a few. Yeah. But there's some really good players on this team.
Yeah.
So
really exciting.
really exciting. I mean, it's gonna. It leads to a great season for the fall. So I'm excited, man. It's good stuff.
Definitely. Yeah. Should be very, very good team. You got passers, you got shooters, you got centers, you got a guard, you got a goalie. Like you got everything. You got everything there. So we'll see how it comes together. We know how they can escalate throughout the course of the season. Exciting matchups throughout. Break down the final quarterfinal of Anteater and Channel Cats.
Yeah, play-in. It's probably my mistake.
So yeah, sorry. I meant the eighth final. The play-in.
The play-in.
Channel Cats and Anteater.
Yeah, winner takes on Mission.
Winner would take on not likely. Winner takes on Mission.
Mission. Yeah, Mission for sure. So this match is interesting, right? Anteater is a solid team. Like I see them being very good. And look, this is a little foreshadowing. I think they're going to be good in the fall during the NC2A season as well. They've been playing together all spring. They're now all getting back into shape. They're all in shape. They have all their players. I think they'll be good and ready to go. They've got a guy named Wiley Dale in the middle who we just did a player profile on earlier this week. Very strong and difficult to guard. 6'8" out of Robert Louis Stevenson up in Carmel. Big kid. He opens things up for Luka Krstić, Johan Thrall, Cole Francisco, who's our leading scorer on the team. He's got 14 goals and 27 shots. This is a very solid, complete team. I'd say the one thing they might be missing is probably a dynamic lefty, which it seems like a lot of teams are. The last time these two teams matched up, Anteater took the loss there. You wonder if they're going to be a little more inspired, if they'll play a little bit more inspired. Their shooting percentage was not very good, which, Shapyash in the goal, you kind of understand that. Channel Cats may have a pretty significant advantage, being that this is at La Cañada. So that's a little bit like a home game for them. I know they train there quite a bit and whatever else. Anteater will need to come in with something to prove. This matchup is the 8 versus 9. Winner taking on the 1 seed, which is Mission. You expect this game to be close. On the Channel Cat side, they did finish 5th in the North Conference behind Mission, though they did beat Anteater in their cross-conference play. I think this just comes down to who shows up that night. Under the lights, Friday night, which, my favorite time to play. Adrenaline's going to be pumping. All you need is a rain. For me, that's my dream, is Friday night under the lights, little rain, just cold. I don't know what it is. Should be a great crowd. I'm not saying it is going to rain, guys. I enjoy playing in the rain. Should be a great crowd on hand, as I know they're going to, I know Armand, I know that group. They're going to work hard to bring people out. I expect there to be a couple hundred people showing up to this game. out there. So the
I'm expecting
atmosphere.
food trucks, Armand. I'm expecting food trucks.
Yeah, I think that's a fair expectation. Should be incredible. Good luck to all the teams in these playing games. I think having this be the first time we've ever had this structure, dude, I think it's exciting. I think it's really exciting because there's unknown. You don't know who you're going to play. If you're LA Athletic Club, New York, Mission, or Olympic Club, you don't know who you're going to play.
Yeah.
So how do you prepare?
I mean, that's the whole theme, is that you can't really plan too far in advance at all, let alone your first game for some of these teams that are having that bye game. So it should be very fun to watch. Be sure to come out, check it out on deck or streaming on overnight.com. Support your local teams and get out there. Wes, talk to us about the remainder of the weekend tickets, some more logistical details.
Yeah, so look, I think everybody on the admin side and organizational side, we're working very hard. There will be VIP seating. We'll release more information about that next week as things are still being finalized, but there will be VIP seating. It'll be sectioned off. For tickets, there are a lot of options. All right, for individuals, right? If you're like, hey, I'm just going to go out there, show up. That's option one. Just show up. Nobody's gonna turn you away. You got to be there. Must be present to win. You got to be there. So you just show up. You can get a ticket there and walk in. If you'd like a physical ticket, USA Water Polo will likely be collecting registrations on their website in the coming days. We're hoping we will produce a short link when that becomes available. We'll put it out on Instagram whenever that becomes available. For clubs, okay, so this is the other avenue. For clubs looking to bring lots and lots and lots of people, which we hope you do. We hope you bring everybody you know and their best friends and their acquaintances, everybody you can think of. Feel free to email us at waterpolowednesday@gmail.com. And of course, you can always email Tom Davis, tdavis@usawaterpolo.com to register for tickets. Let us know what you guys need. And thus far, with the club side of things, we're all the way up to about 850 registrations from clubs asking for tickets for their kids as part of their youth programs, their families and friends. But if you have questions, ask them. We're here to help. We're here to guide you guys. We want this to be the biggest, best event possible. Whatever we can do to help, that's why we're here.
Yeah, 850 is a very solid number this far in advance. It's tough to get numbers out in advance as much as any event coordinator would love to have them. It's usually much closer to the event that numbers really start to spike and people make commitments or they have an idea of what their schedule is looking like that weekend. So that's really exciting to hear. That's trending very, very positive.
Yeah.
So these are real, guys. So, they're just like, man, I'm not sure if I should, is someone else going to show up? Again, be the person that shows up, bring people with you. It should be a great time. And next we have a couple awesome guests from a very strong program this National League season. Tico Carcelade and Brett Ormsby of Mission coming up next.
Welcome back, everyone. We're joined by two very special guests, Tico Carcelade, one of my new favorite players in the NC2A and National League, and Brett Ormsby, the coach at J. Sarah Catholic High School, but also the coach at Mission this season, coach for Mission, I should say, this season in National League. Thank you both for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you very much for having us. It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, Tico, have loved watching you play this season. I've gotten to commentate on a number of UCLA games. You're very difficult to guard, which is always great to see a guy that moves as much as you do. But this is your first year. This is actually the first year any college players that are not like with Team USA have been able to play in National League. And so to have college teams in it is different for us. Like, it's not something that we are familiar with. Clayton and I have both been playing and been part of National League since its inception. From an intensity standpoint, talk to us about the experience. Like, what has it been like to come off an NC2A championship, jump right into National League? Do you care, or is it practice? Or are you like, hey, we're here to win? What's the approach that you guys have taken this year? You're the only undefeated team, so I'm very curious.
No, we care a lot. Like, we got a very good team, very competitive team, so we do care a lot about it. We want to win. It's a little bit harder for us because we haven't been practicing at like the full 20 hours that you do during season or during like spring that we're going to start today. But you're still like a little bit out of shape, not out of shape, but not in your best shape. But it's still
Sure.
like you go out there, you got 7 guys on the other side, want to win. You don't want to let them win. Like you want to get in there, get it done, right? And we have a really good team culture, like that we can just rely on and be like, hey, like we're not messing around here. We want to win.
I love that.
Love that. Brett, you've been coaching UCLA in games for a while now. How has this been different than maybe coaching at senior nationals where it's just that one weekend?
Yeah, I think the first time I got a chance to coach UCLA in the offseason was like over a decade ago. I think it was like 2013 or 2014 Fisher Cup. And I did it for maybe a handful of years there for three years or so. And then I had an absence for a while, came back. I think last year in senior nationals was kind of the first time back with these guys, coaching them in the offseason. But you're right, National League is the first kind of league that I've gotten to work with them, every 2 weeks over, a couple months. And it's been an amazing experience for me. Obviously, I'm an alum. Adam and I were teammates, not at UCLA, but on the national team. We have a good relationship. I have a lot of respect for, the program and what it's accomplished. And I know a lot of guys in the team right now. And so it's been fun to have a few of my former high school players. But dude, they're a great group. And, Tico's been one of the key leaders, I feel like, during this. I've been really impressed with him, the way he communicates. Wes, you already commented on the way he plays. So for me, I guess the difference, Clay, is just that like the ability to kind of come back and see these guys somewhat regularly has kind of helped build a little relationship, made it maybe a little bit more fun. But it's always a pleasure to be able to coach your alma mater.
Has the game changed much, Brett, on you? Like, are you coaching UCLA different than maybe they're coached in the fall? Like, are you implementing your tactics, or is it very much, hey, this is the same as it always is?
Yeah, that's a great question. And no, I'm not changing very much at all. I mean, these kids know the system super well. It's one of the things that Adam does is like they know how they're supposed to play as a team. And so a lot of what I'm doing is kind of trying to help these guys maybe recognize just like some small, like bring their attention maybe to a few areas where I think we can make some adjustments. But I'm not implementing new tactics. I'm not doing any of that because there's no need for that. I'm there to help these guys be better in what they already do. Mm-hmm. So, it's pretty simple.
So more refinement than kind of like implementation, if you will. Now, Tico, you're looking to make a run with Brazil this year or not just this year, right? Well, you have world championships this summer, but for LA 2028. Love to hear about your plan there. Like it's very rare we get to talk to somebody who's kind of on the rise. It's in LA, pre-Olympic type of stuff. What are you doing maybe that's a little bit different as you lead into these next 3 years than maybe what other people are doing? Is a training schedule different, recovery? Like how are you focused on that, or maybe not even thinking about
it? Definitely thinking about it. Like it's been my biggest goal, like in my entire life. It's playing the Olympics, and for me, it's a very special like opportunity now in 2028 with the U.S. already having their spot, and Brazil fighting against mostly Argentina and Canada for that other spot. So it's very, very in my mind. And for me, like personally, it's also a very nice like. It would be very good because my dad, I don't know if you guys know, but my dad played in the Olympics in 1984 in Los Angeles. Sorry. Yeah. So it would be like 44 years later.
I can tell you exactly 44 years.
Yeah. 44 years later playing in the Olympics, same city as your dad. That would have been pretty cool. So I'm 100% locked in. Like we started the process over like the last fall. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be there because we had important games with UCLA, so I had to ask to not to go to the tournaments because we were like focused in season. Mm-hmm. But we actually just had a meeting a couple of days ago with the coach. Like the whole team is locked in. We have our training schedule. Like, we're going to Worlds this year in Singapore, which is going to be a great opportunity. We got great players joining us again. We have João Pedro, who's a goalie that's been all over Europe, very experienced player, one of the best goalies in the world right now. We have him joining us again, which is going to be very important for us. So, yeah, very excited for that. Like training schedule, we got a really good coach here at UCLA. We got a lot of training going on at all times, but always like making sure that you're healthy first of all, and then stick to the plan, and hopefully we'll be there.
I love it. Yeah, fitness is never an issue at UCLA for some reason. You guys never look tired, and that's by design. Which is, look, as we talk about a lot, fitness is such an important part. We had Filip Filipovic on this last week, and he talked about that loss that Brazil handed Serbia in 2016 in Brazil. So look, we're all big Brazil fans, just because you never know, right? Like you never know. You love to see these nations up and coming. Certainly got a challenging road to get there. No, it's okay.
No,
go ahead.
That game was the only game I didn't go to in the.
You gotta be kidding me!
I went to every single game, but then I think it was like my best friend's birthday or something, and I was like, we're playing Serbia, like they have all the guys. Like maybe I'm not gonna make this one. I'll go to the party. And I was so better.
Yeah, a friend of mine, Ruda Franco, who played for Navarra, was on that team, and was just over the moon, right? I'm sure you know him very well. So that's amazing. Brett, you got the opportunity to coach Ryder when he was just a high school kid. He wasn't an Olympian when you were coaching him. Some might say you had something to do with that, right? Like that's amazing. But now he is an Olympian. How much growth have you seen in him over the last 12 months since going from a high school kid to like he won CIF, he won a bronze at the Olympics, now won an NCAA title.
Yeah, it's been insane. And I go back to like his first year to year and a half with us, like you could see some glimpses, but he was still, I think, very quiet. Like that was the thing, is like he was very, very quiet, and he was kind of trying to find his place. Again, some of the talent was there, but he didn't yet have like the leadership and the voice. He had the swimming, but he, over the last, I'd say, it was after we lost his junior year, we lost CIF kind of crushing. And I remember I challenged him kind of immediately after that in a way that I know hit him super hard. And like he over the next year or so, I think number one was fueled by that loss. I think number two was given the opportunity to be with the national team, and like those reps he took advantage of, and those are incredible reps. And he, at that point, it was like a rocket ship. I mean, he just kept going up and up and up and up, and at each level, you're like, okay, like, is he gonna plateau for a bit? And he didn't. He just kept going. And so it was really fun. Obviously, he had an undefeated season his senior year. Was on one of the greatest high school teams ever. Was our key leader. From there, went to Paris. Performed incredibly well in Paris. I took my son out. We watched the games. It was a blast to celebrate him. And then, maybe like what he did at UCLA this year is the most impressive. I mean, it's crazy. Like I used to, in fact, I teased him because I scored a lot of goals at UCLA, and under Adam, the scoring's always been really dispersed, and I'm like, oh, dude, you're never gonna kind of hit what I hit. And his freshman year flew right past what I did my senior year. But
Brett, in fairness, you and I were 30 meters.
30 meters, lower scoring game. That's what I always say to him too. I'm like, hey, Ryder, look.
Yeah, not the same.
These games were 7-6, not 17 to 16. But, the cool thing about him is just he's a good kid, and like that's what I always try to tell people. Like I know him on a human level, and like he's just a really solid dude. So really easy to celebrate, really easy to kind of cheer on, and I think he makes us all proud.
Yeah, I think so. Brett, you said that after that really tough loss his junior year, you gave Ryder a challenge. Could you share with us a bit more about what this challenge was?
I mean, in essence, it was like, are you the guy, dude? Like, are you like, because he missed a penalty, and it's a funny thing. And I joke with the UCLA guys about it. Like he couldn't score a penalty in high school. And now it's like, he's taking all the penalties and he's making them, but he missed a penalty in the final. And then we went into regional, and we were playing Harvard Westlake in the semifinals of regional, and he deferred on a penalty, and he kind of deferred to someone else. And I kind of started chewing him out right then and there during the game, because I just thought that was not the kind of response I wanted to see from him, Yeah. And I had also kind of challenged him a little bit from a legacy perspective. I said, and it wasn't just him, but Bodie Brinkema, Will Schneider, some of these other guys, if you guys want to be great, this is something you got to check off. You got to win here. Obviously, you got to go and win in college and do this other stuff. But you can't say, oh, it doesn't matter. It's just high school. You got to start building these championship reps. And so it was kind of in that essence of just you got one shot left. Don't waste it. And then also hey, I think you can be the guy, but are you the guy? If you are, you step up and you take that penalty. If you are, you do this in practice. And he responded really well to that.
Awesome.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's well-timed
hard
losses.
Conversations that can, exactly.
Yeah, well-timed conversations like that can be very, very impactful on careers. So back to National League a little bit. We're obviously preparing for finals. You guys took the number 1 overall seed. You won every game. You were the only undefeated team. Talk to us about the approach, right? There are no easy games, but you are going to be you're going to be in your 20 hours, so you should be in great shape. Talk to us about the approach as you go into this. You're on the side with, I think Anteater, Channel Cats, Trojan, Sunset, and Nyack to get to the finals. What does that look like mentally for you, Tico, and coming into it? Is it something you'll taper for? Or is it something you're like, no, we're just coming in full steam, not taking a break here, not missing a beat?
No, yeah, 100%. We have Pacific Cup coming soon as well. So I think now the focus a little bit more directed towards that. Sure. But 100% after we finish that, it's all National League. Like I said before, we want to win, and especially now that LA Athletic Club is bringing Dennis Varga, Filip Filipovic. For us just to be playing against these guys is already it's a big thing. It's a big deal. And at the end of the day, you don't want to just play against these guys. You want to be able to say you beat them, right? So if we want to do that, we got to make it all the way to the final. And there's a lot of great teams in the way. So we got to make sure we're in the best shape, best mental abilities, to be ready to go. Yeah.
Well, mind 100%. You, LA Athletic Club has to win too. You guys have this unique benefit of having played together as much as you have. Yeah. LA Athletic Club hasn't played together. I think there was only one weekend where we actually had all of our players, and then that was it. Now you're adding a couple more in. So it's going to be a very exciting National League Finals. Brett, are you bringing your club guys out for that, or what's your plan? We got to pack the stadium here. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'll certainly. I don't think we have any. I got to double check the calendar, but futures. I don't think we. Oh yeah, that's right. There's no futures. I heard NTSC, and I think you told me that they're having it out there at Mount Sac, which is great. So you're going to have a lot of kids there for that. I certainly plan to bring my son. My son's a lefty himself, so he'll love to see Filipovic out there. But I also want to go support these UCLA guys. Obviously, they're in their 20 hours, so it's UCLA now. It's not Mission. Has to be UCLA coaches. Has to be all UCLA players. Which kills me, man. I'd love to sit on the bench with these guys. I've had so much fun throughout this process. But likely bring my son up there to watch and promote it with my club kids as well. And it's not very often we get to see legendary players like Varga and Filipovic here in the United States in this setting. But at the same time, I would highly encourage people to get out there and watch this UCLA group. And Ryder's phenomenal, but going through this the last few months with Tico, Tico is unreal as well. And people who haven't seen him play, you need to see him play. I remember seeing him play in the NC2A final his freshman year against Cal at USC. And I was kind of like, man, who's this kid? He plays with such a motor, but Tico's phenomenal. The way he talks, his technical skill. I think Ryder even said to me at one point, defensively, even better than him, he can lock anybody down, even a smaller size. But you go through the whole lineup, man. 2 phenomenal centers in Pete and Marcel, 2 phenomenal defenders in Ben Larson and Gray Carson. You got skilled left-handers in Lathy and Sherlock, and then you got those left side guys that can really attack. And so not to overlook any of the. What's that?
It's an embarrassment of riches. We broke down the national team players on this UCLA team, this mission team, and it's like everybody on the roster. Like, it's
the one thing I'd say though is
incredible.
Not just those guys. Like, I think we talked about that during the whole year too. Is like the fall in our season, we were like, dude, like we have the most depth out of everyone. Like we have like great players that like sometimes don't even get their chance to like shine that much, but like you're out there, like those are one of the best players in the country. Just the role they play in our team sometimes is not, that like seen out there for most people, but like we're seeing in practice every day. We got guys like Marcel, like Noah, Gray, like those guys are not getting that much like rep or not much recognition out there, but those are one of the best players in the country.
I went on record of saying that every goal that Ryder Dodd scores should be credited to Tico Carcelate because of the movement you create is such a problem for every single team that if they don't jump you, then you're going to score. And it's like, well, what do we do? Where do we go? So I've been very impressed with your play. Gray Carson's another great call out. Noah Rowe has been impactful. But as you mentioned, right, the team, it's all about the team. And so some of these guys maybe don't play roles where they score a ton.
It's the team play. These guys all sacrifice.
Yeah.
They all sacrifice.
I don't know if I would go that far because Ryder's phenomenal, and playing with him on that side, it makes it easier for me too. But I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Of course. Well, look, guys, I know we're coming up on time.
Oh,
go ahead, Clay. You want to do one more?
I was going to ask one more.
Sure.
You do play with a lot of fire. We've called this out, Tico. And one coach, I know Eric Carnahan, actually, of LA Athletic Club, talking about you. He said that your style of play is just go, go, go. That motor that you mentioned earlier. Where does this energy come from? And is there anybody that's inspired you to play the way that you do? I noticed a couple jerseys behind you. So I'm curious, like, who your heroes were that made you, like, just the grinder that you are.
First of all, like, water polo's been in my family forever. So, like, I grew up watching my dad, my older brother play. And those two were my role models, like, forever. And, in water polo itself, Felipe Peroni was my greatest idol, like, him and my dad. But Felipe Peroni, just, like, the way he plays, the way he understands the game, IQ, defense, offense, like, the guy can do everything. And, like, he's just a step ahead of everyone. And now he's 38. And he's countering everyone, like still like one of the best players in the world. So that's something that really inspires me. Like in other sports like Kobe, it's a big idol of mine too. And also Filipovic that we're playing against, I actually have a very nice story with. So in the 2016 Olympics, I was the little kid just going to every single game, watching everyone play. And in the quarterfinal, I'm like behind the bench yelling Filipovic's name for him to come recognize me, talk to me or whatever. And he comes talk to me, I asked for his cap or whatever. He couldn't give me at that time, but he was like, after the tournament's over, just come here and like, I'll hook you up. Like I'll give you a cap or whatever. After the tournament ended, they won. I was like looking for him. It was a little bit hard because, like after you win a gold, you want to celebrate it and everything. But at the medal ceremony, I was right, like, on the stands right above him, and I started yelling his name, and then, like, he looked at me, recognized me, and threw me the little, like, Olympic trophy you get. So, like, that was, like, it's in my, not here, it's in Brazil.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that's in my room till today. Yeah. So, like, after that happened, that's, like, was the biggest, like, switch for me in water polo. Like, I have to, like, play against that guy. I have to be around there, like, it's going to be very exciting. That's another like good reason for me, like, this weekend, just very excited to play against him. Mm-hmm. And so after that was like the switch for me is like, I need to get up there. I need to be with those guys. I need to play in the Olympics. I need to play in UCLA like my dad did. I need to, get it done kind of. So that was like another big like switch for me.
I love it, man. It's a great story. We like to give this time to you, and we say the studio is yours. If there's anything you guys would like to share, Brett, you can go first if you want, and just kind of a message is your own little platform. So go for it. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, no, well, nothing planned certainly, and nothing in particular. Just kind of reiterate you know, it was a pleasure coaching these guys. Really fun experience for me. Really, really good dudes. I love the culture they have there at UCLA. I'm proud to be a Bruin, you know, and so I just encourage as many young kids to get out and see these international super duper stars that are Varga and Filipovic, but also check out some of these young guys on UCLA, and then definitely pay attention to just the team play, the way these guys play together. It's fun to watch.
Awesome. Tico, anything you want to share?
Uh, nothing specifically. Just wanted to thank you guys for having us. It was really great to have this talk with you guys, and congratulate you two for the work you've done. Like the Water Polo Wednesday podcast, like water polo is not a big sport yet, but I think has a lot of potential, and most certainly the work you guys do here is leading us the right way. Also, thank Brett. It's been amazing having him with us. Like, just he came a little bit during season 2. We had a talk at one point midway through season, and I like just hearing from him, like, you know, UCLA legend, won there, was one of the best players, you know, like having that guy around us, like actually like motivates us a lot, makes us, you know, feel special, and also like knowing we're going in the right way. So I wanted to thank Brett. Learned a lot from him, even though we don't even practice together. It's just like those every 2 weekends in games, but learned a lot from him, and just very grateful for that.
Awesome. Well, we love that you lead with gratitude. That's certainly a theme here. We're very grateful for the time you guys have spent with us. Thank you for taking time out of your day to come and chat with us. Good luck the rest of the way. Certainly, we hope we see you in finals, and then we hope we win. But if not, it'll be a great event. And thank you guys for being here. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you guys. Thanks.
Man, that was awesome. What a great interview. I had a lot of fun with those guys during that interview and before chatting with them and after. I love just how pumped they are about the finals and the players playing. Like for Tico to say, it's not just playing with them, it's playing against them. You know, that opportunity to beat them. It's incredible.
Yeah. A lot of fun. It's so humble, you know, like soft-spoken guys, but like you see Tico in the water and he's like very different face, very different energy, and then you get him, you know, in person on camera. I'm sure in the right environment he also gets very excited. But yeah, it's just lovely people. Huge respect for both Tico and Coach Ormsby.
Yeah, I think Tico is one of those guys that's like, you know, let your actions speak so loud that they can't hear the words that you're saying. And really cool about his father playing in the '84 Olympics here in California, wishing him the best, right?
Definitely.
The best. So,
definitely.
On to the women's side. I was on the Stanford and UCLA matchup this last weekend. Incredibly exciting game. It was thrilling. UCLA came out super, super strong. They forced the issue. They took a 3-0 lead. They were able to score from the perimeter. Anna Pearson, Bia Manolato are legit good. Like, Clay, these two women are dominant. It is really cool to see just how good they are and the difference between them and like everybody else. So even Stanford, who's got one loss on the season and won everything else, right? They were challenged. They were struggling. And so their initial approach was to stop the center play, which opened things up. Taylor Smith had 2 of the 3 goals, really, really good shooting from the 2 position there. But Anna Pearson, who's a pure center, controlled the entire game. It felt like Bia, who's the Hawaii transfer, 2-time Big West Player of the Year, is a center, but she also has a cannon. Like, you don't really realize this. Very versatile, right? When she's playing in the middle, you don't really get to see her like get up, pump fake, and rip it. They didn't put Bia at the top until the end, but when they did and she was up there, she rewarded them with a very, very good goal, just an absolute missile to the upper corner. So I thought Bia played really, really well, and was really impressed with kind of Taylor Smith did really well, and Anna Pearson, obviously, and a couple. Lauren Steele in the goal. I thought she had a very good game. UCLA looked very coordinated, played very well together, but in the end, you know, just couldn't hold on to that 3-0 to lead. You know, 3 goal. You'd think 3 goals might be enough, but against Stanford, it simply was not. I mean, Stanford just came back.
Yeah, we've become very accustomed to seeing Adam Wright teams being very organized, So how did Stanford break them down?
Yeah. The biggest thing I noticed was the speed and versatility of Stanford. They're so fast, right? It's easy to like look really fast when you're playing teams you're beating 20-3, but they're fast against UCLA, who, I mean, it's UCLA. So you come to expect UCLA to be in great shape. You know that they're really fit and they're very fast. Stanford looks like they were just gassing it. Like it was unbelievable. Cameron Barone had a tremendous game forcing the issue and was involved a ton. I thought Eleanor Facey, who's a senior, had a great game. She contributed in a lot of ways. She got a goal on kind of a cleanup goal. She worked really hard, like on drives and counterattacks, getting out front. This is a center, mind you. She's a center, and she gets inside water, gets one on nobody's, like moves really, really well. Opening things up for other players, does a lot of things, contributes in a lot of ways that don't necessarily show up on the scoreboard, right? When she drives through, forces drops, and then Jenna Flynn, for example, shoots and scores because, you know, Eleanor Facey did a great drive and drew more attention. That doesn't show up the same way as Jenna Flynn scoring, but it certainly is impactful. And Jenna Flynn played very well as well. But the main driver of that team is very clearly Ryann Neushall. She counters like you would not believe. She defends. She was even setting and posting up, and she's good at all of it. It's not like, hey, I'm a decent post-up player. Like, she's really good at all of it. Not mediocre. We're talking elite, which, look, there just isn't one player out there on any team who can guard her, who has, like, think about this. If you're defending Ryann Neushall, you have to have elite speed to keep up with her. You have to shot block in your zones perfectly. She had a couple of absolute bombs from the outside. Like, I mean, just pinpoint accuracy, right? You have to shot block and zone that perfectly. You have to guard the drive. You also have to guard the post up and the center, like her actually setting on you, which are all things that Ryann is going to force you to do. And it's kind of ridiculous, actually, because like I don't think I've known anybody that can do all of these things all like exceptionally well. Like how one person can do so many things at that level where they're like maybe the best in the pool at everything that they're doing is crazy. Because like, Clay, you're a center. You specialize in being a center. I'm a 4-5 attacker. I specialize in passing and defense. I can't set. You're not going to be a 4-5 attacker. Like, it's crazy to me.
Whoa.
Yeah, take it easy, buddy. And so I don't really grasp how like that's possible, but like wrapping my head around that, it's part of what has made her so valuable to the U.S. team this past summer. She played completely out of position. Adam Krikorian talked about this. She played center defender, which is like not where you put her. She's the best driver on that team. Mind you, her teammates are Jenna Flynn and Jewel Romer, who played a lot for Team USA. And Ryann is very clearly like the best driver on that team, but she had to play center defender for Team USA because she's also the best at that. It's confounding, man. It is what it is, but it's confounding to me. It's so impressive to watch. Like I feel like I'm watching just greatness unfold in front of me. And some of the plays she had where she was setting in a beautiful kick out, a pass or a drive or a move or defensive stop, shot block. She does it all. It's just, she just does it all.
Yeah. Truly special talent there for sure. And from everything that I hear, I don't know her personally, but I hear that she's a lovely person as well. So Stanford pulls away with the win here. You were on deck.
Yeah.
As they say, Po Buddy's nerfed. So where did you see any weaknesses here for the Stanford
Clayton's
team?
trying to say nobody's perfect. Yeah, and I've had a chance to get to know Ryann, obviously, throughout the season. And she's been nothing but so nice to me. Like, she doesn't have to be. She's Ryann Neushall. Like, she's an Olympian, right? Like, she's going to probably be top 5 scoring at Stanford all time. Like, she went out of her way the other day to say hi, and it was great to see her. So, I mean, it makes me, it's cool. It's very cool. So anyway, back to Stanford there. So this is what's really interesting. You can't stop everyone and everything all the time. Stanford seems content at giving up goals in the middle, or at least taking exclusions and forcing teams to beat them. And I think that's the preferred. Okay. Because if you take the exclusion on the center, then they go 6-on-5, and at least you have Carpenter in the goal, who's a very good goalie. and you say, good, you shoot from the outside, even if we're down a player, you go ahead and shoot from the outside. And if they can do that, if they can force teams to shoot from the outside, they're going to win because they're so darn fast on transition and counter. And then their goalie Carpenter is extremely talented. Their field defense is elite. And so they're basically saying, you're going to have to beat our shot blocking, our zone, and our goalie, who we have a lot of faith in. Okay. They're all going to be in the right spots. You can see how coordinated they are and in the lanes. And they're like, then you go ahead and beat us that way. And it's just very difficult to continue. As we know, it's very difficult to continue to score from the outside. They even Stanford started 2 center defenders, using one to post up because they run more movement between Ryan, Jewel, Jenna. They run more movement, okay, and Juliet. And what it does is that if one center defender is defending and they get kicked out, you still have another one in the pool at the same time who's, Quinn Healy, who I thought was fantastic. I really like her game. She moves really well. She passes well. She works really hard on defense. So they started her and I think Ella Woodhead. They also use Maggie Hawkins. They're all very long. So if one of them gets kicked out, they still got one more in there. All right. So Quinn Healy, Maggie Hawkins, Ella Woodhead, they're very talented on defense. They kind of know their role on offense. Maggie Hawkins was actually pretty freaking dynamic on offense. I thought she did an unbelievable job. Ella Woodhead was setting and just causing problems for UCLA. And they run a lot of really dynamic post-ups and kind of stunts inside, which is very cool at both ends. And that's what creates the opportunities for Romer and Flynn and Neushall to fire out on defense, because when they can trust that back line, they can cheat up a little and then they get going. And it's incredible, man. It's almost poetic to watch. It's almost like watching poetry just like come to life, because they play so well together and they work so well as a unit that you can see that they're all on the same page. They're not forcing things. And it shows just in how efficient they are. I mean, to come back from 3-0 and I think at one point had a 5-goal lead, and that's an 8-goal swing. That's incredible.
You say great teams beat great athletes, but if you have a great team with great athletes, that poses a problem.
Yeah.
Stanford with 1 loss, with 2 games remaining in the regular season before conference play.
Conference championship.
Conference championship, excuse me.
Yeah, their MPSF conference championship.
Yeah. They seem to be the favorite to win it all this year, but I'm sure USC feels like they've got a shot too.
Yeah. I mean, USC did beat them, so they've got to feel pretty good. Like, okay, we have a recipe to do it. It's called Tilly Kearns, so that's good. And so it's exciting. It's going to be a really exciting MPSF. I think it's very clearly Stanford at 1, SC at 2, probably UCLA at 3, Cal Hawaii at 4. So we'll see. But exciting. It's been very exciting. So that wraps it up here for us this week. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to check out the Instagram and other episodes and get all the details on National League Finals. And remember, everybody, life is short. Score goals.
Score goals.
Have a good night, everyone.